I think there's something really exciting to build something, and you may not know where it's going to go, and it may not go anywhere, but you built something. And that challenge, that adventurous spirit, that motivation, ambition, drive, if you have it under your skin, you can't get it out. It's going to live there. It's going to fester. It's going to grow until you've got to do something about it. That idea sometimes becomes an obsession, a fixation, and you can't put it down. And that's a little bit about what happened to me. Like, yeah, I could go work for somebody else, and I might end up doing just that, and that's cool. But I knew I had to try.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to try at least once. Sometimes you can't give up after one time, but I knew I had to try. I had worked at a fintech startup before this, and I learned a lot. Super cool, amazing people. But I knew that with every day I was gleaning something out from this that I wanted to do different. I wanted to do what I thought would be better. And when I finished school, I finished my MBA, not this past August, the August before, I was like, now's the time. Now's the time. Great chance I'm going to fall flat on my face. I'll have learned a lot, and then it'll be worth it. I worked at a venture capital firm, and they're exposed to many different entrepreneurs, founders, and startup ideas, from AI, meal kits, drone technology. And I wasn't so passionate about that space, but the idea of these really cool people doing really cool stuff. Cool. Mm-hmm. And they're just as cool as I am.
Yeah.
You know?
I like the way you described it as something that's festering that you have to address. I know exactly how you feel and what you mean by that. It's like anytime that I've been working for other people, it's just like everything felt like I'm only doing this for the money or to learn, which is very important. You have to start out working. You don't just like come out of school or if you don't go to school, it's hard to have a good opportunity or good enough skill set to be successful in building something with no experience. I mean, if you can come out of high school or college and immediately build something great, good for you. Some people do, but also, going into the workforce and getting some real world experience is a good start. But also in going through that process, knowing that you're only going through that process to gather some information or whatever is kind of brutal, because you just can't wait to quit and do your own thing. And some people would say you should just quit and do your own thing right away and try to get investment, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and I'm not going to say what's the best way to do it, but anyway, yes, I know what I mean. I know what you mean by the festering thing. That's an interesting way to describe it.
It just came to me now, but it does feel like, a splinter that's got under your skin, and you need to get it out. And I think that there's a lot to learn from working in whether it's a corporate environment, a small business. There's a lot to learn, for sure. One of the things that a founder needs to have a 10x amount of is emotional intelligence, working with teams and managing people, leading people. As a founder, you have a harebrained idea, and you need to be able to lead and sell and inspire people after. And to learn that, the best way is to work with other people. Ultimately, if your idea is a success, it's not going to be a solo operation. So having the groundwork of working with others is integral.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what started. And I think part of the journey is when you talk about it and people shoot you down and say, oh, that's never going to work. And then you say, okay, I accept. Let me refine. Let me learn. Let me find out. Let me get more information. And you don't stop. You don't stop. I was talking to an engineer, a nice young woman who works at one of these large startups. And she was saying to me how she would start something, but she's busy at work. And then on the weekends, she needs to relax. And then she needs to do her errands. Again, probably shouldn't have said anything. That's the second theme. I probably shouldn't say anything. But I was like, I'm working full time. I was in school at that time and nights. And I am still working on this startup idea. So I don't know about your lack of time, because if you want to do it, you'll find a way.